Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
When you look at the schedule, Alabama A&M, you take care of business. There's nothing like the first game. Take care of that one. Arkansas State, there's so many people that's been waiting for this one now. And so you better make sure that's a Super Bowl game. Hey, and you're going to Little Rock. And so now you're 2-0 in the me, or then, and I can look ahead because I'm on the sideline. Now you circle. You circle that third one. Circle that real big. You gotten better. You 2-0, get better each week. And then, boy, I tell you what, that's the one.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I knew there'd be one more dust-up on this great stadium debate. I mean, we've been arguing about this for 25 years. Anybody that thought this was just going to just slip away into the night without one more good fight was really naive.
Well, that was me.
Did you really think that this was just going to, like, pass?
I live in a world of hope and optimism. Rainbows and unicorns. Sunsets and sunrises. All green lights.
Hear no evil, see no evil.
This is not a green light. Politics and sports collide on the Chuck and Bo Show.
That's right. That's what happens. It's, when I was driving home yesterday, I was thinking, God, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to do this? I mean, it was like I was having flashbacks from doing a show 25 years ago.
Well, I listened to an hour of You Do Sports Rap yesterday.
I just went on autopilot. Everything I said yesterday, I said 25 years ago.
I know. And it was fabulous.
Well, I'm not
well
saying.
said. No, it was
crazy.
all well said.
It's crazy.
And I kept checking the date. I'm like, is it 2025?
Like Groundhog Day.
Was it September 8th yesterday, 2025? Today is September 9th, and here we are again. The contract, we spent the week talking about whether it would be the last game, and we're one work day removed from the game, and the governor has announced that she has sent letters to the Board of Trustees, the presidents, chancellors, both universities, Arkansas State and Arkansas, and implored them to continue playing this game on an annual basis. As governor, a native of Little Rock, and a lifelong football fan, I'm calling on you to make this historic matchup an annual event at War Memorial Stadium in the heart of our state. Generations of Arkansans have come to this stadium to cheer for their teams and witness some of the greatest moments in Arkansas sports history. But never before for a game like this. Now is the time to change that.
I'd forgotten how many angles people come at this issue from. I mean, there's 4 or 5 different arguments that are being made in the aftermath of this game. And for some, and I guess this is the one thing that I can't really square away in my head, if Arkansas were to play Arkansas State every year, why does it have to be in Little Rock? I mean, people were saying yesterday, well, I'd rather play Arkansas State than Louisiana Monroe. That's a separate argument. I don't disagree with that argument. But there's this idea that the only place that Arkansas and Arkansas State could play one another would be Little Rock. And that I just don't understand that part. I also think there's one heck of a football game brewing Saturday night in Oxford, and it's really important. And, we're talking about whether or not they're going to play games in Little Rock. And that's not lost on me either. But, yeah, it's, some people, I think, left the game. And most of these people, I think, were predisposed to believe games should stay at War Memorial Stadium, at least to a degree. They saw the crowd experience the day and thought, we got to keep doing this. It can be like this every time. And I think there was also a group of people that went to this game because they thought it was going to be the last one, and they wanted to be there. In much the same way we go to a restaurant when it closes down for the last time, or we went to the drive-in movie before they closed it down and opened the theater downtown. We did those things. We all did those things. And I think, in a sense, a lot of people went to the game knowing that this would be it, at least thinking this would be it. And they wanted to be there. They wanted to say they were there. They wanted to see the spectacle. I don't know that you're going to be able to repeat that. I just don't know that even if this were to come to pass, and it's not going to, but if it were to come to pass, I don't know that you could recreate what happened Saturday. It was a special day. And all the things that the governor and the proponents of keeping games in Little Rock talked about, they're all true. Saturday was a great day. I'll remember it as long as I can remember. But part of that was because we all went with the idea that this is it. And we went to say thank you and thanks for the memories. And we went to reminisce. I sure did. I reminisced a lot during that game Saturday, and I don't think I'm the only one. So I just think coming out of it, so many people have put this to bed. You know, they went for the last time, they drove away, and it was a good day. But I don't know if those people drove away thinking, man, we got to keep doing this. And I don't think that's what propelled them to go in the first place. Again, I think it was nostalgia, particularly for people in our part of the world.
We all love a good event.
Sure.
It was a good event.
It was a great event.
And it was a great event for the city of Little Rock. I just have one question. I got a lot of questions, but I would narrow it down to one. Do the positives outweigh the negatives? It's sort of like any other decision in life. Do the positives of a family reunion, as I heard described by one caller yesterday, and the fun outside and the tailgating and the atmosphere in the game, and they finally figured out a way to get more people into the War Memorial Stadium for a game, all of that was great for a day. Is that moment replicatable? If it is, let's just say that it is for a moment for the sake of argument. Is it worth doing every year? Is it more positive than it is negative? And it always comes back to this, and you described it really well yesterday. And what Orville Henry has always said, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the Razorbacks, and as long as you remember that, you'll be fine. I think that if you want to win at a high clip in college football and you're the Razorbacks, then you've got to approach every decision with that in mind. Because I know this, if I know anything about fans, they will follow a winner. And sometimes they'll follow you even if you're not winning, because that's where their heart is. But fans want to win. They want to win more than anything. And then, amazingly, we sometimes get into a situation as fans where we think to ourselves, wow, I would rather have this because it's good for me. But at the same time, they're not willing to give up winning for that, but they don't say that. They don't admit that. They don't acknowledge that, hey, if this isn't the best thing for the Razorbacks, then let's not do it. Nobody's ever convinced anyone that this is the best thing for the Razorbacks.
There's a time when it was, but that time is past.
Now, what I do hear is a lot of ways to make it work. Oh, we'll raise the money that you lose in Little Rock. Well, why don't we raise that money for paying more players? Why don't we raise that money for better NIL deals? Why don't we raise the money for things that are going to make the football team better? Not how do we overcome, but look, because I can hear this, it's not that bad. They can get over it. It'll be fine. They can make it work. Why are we trying to make it work? We've already got enough obstacles to overcome. And these are just real questions. By the way, today on the Chuck and Bo Show, in an hour and 25 minutes from right now, the governor will be on the show, and we'll ask her to explain beyond her statements why she thinks this is the right thing to do. And I want to ask her if she thinks it's the best thing for the Razorbacks, or are there two different things going on here? It's the best thing for the state, not necessarily the Razorbacks. Or does she really believe it is the best thing for the Razorbacks? Why does the game have to be played in Little Rock if they're going to play the game every year? Does it have to? What makes it have to be played in Little Rock? Is this an attempt to try to save War Memorial Stadium? What are the reasons?
Yes.
Well, what are the reasons? I just want to hear from her. What are the reasons? With all due respect, I mean, but this is, for me, it's really interesting. And again, you laid it out well yesterday. But the politics have to line up with what's the best thing for your team in a one-horse state like this. If they don't, in my opinion, you don't have the best chance to pull off what you've all dreamed of one day happening. Sneaking into the playoff and finding a way to make a run, and who knows, one day maybe you play for it all.
I think that there's a glossing over of the financial aspect in this. In other words, people are saying, well, they can figure out how to make that work. The governor said yesterday, and she's exactly right, that over $6 million, about $6.5 million has been put into improvements in that stadium. And obviously more needed. But the quote emphasized the significance of $6.5 million. And it is a lot of money. I mean, it's a lot of money. That's state money going into that stadium. But just to give you an idea about how much money we're talking about here that the Razorbacks need to operate with, $6.5 million is barely a third of what their payroll is going to be for 1 year for student athletes.
Players.
For student athletes, players.
Rev share payments.
Yeah, $20 million. So, yes, it's a lot of money. But it's staggering what's required to compete at a high level in college football right now. And you're going to have a payroll of somewhere around $20 million. And as much as $6.5 million in improvements, I mean, that's a lot of money, again. But it only scratches the surface in terms of what we're talking about, the compensation required for these players. And I don't think that people understand how schools are scrambling right now to come up with that money. They're just trying to come up with it for the first year, and they got to do it, it looks like, in perpetuity.
Here's Sam Pitman at his news conference on Monday asked about it.
Whatever the governor and the athletic directors from both schools and all that, I'm all for it. What I want that to be very, very clear. I'm all for it. There's pros and cons over here and over here and over here. But if it makes the University of Arkansas and our fans happy, whatever that may be, as the head coach at Arkansas, I'm all for it.
Where do you hear of people being asked around the country in major college football, programs that are really successful, to do things that they really don't want to do?
Here.
Yeah. I mean, where else?
Short list. I mean, it's a short list. I am.
Well, what have we said about Auburn for years?
Yeah.
Auburn gets in its own way. Why? Too many people involved making decisions about the program. Too much influence from people who have a lot of money, not all aligned, and you get a mess. Texas has had some similar issues, and then it seems like maybe they had the right president, and the right AD, and now the right head coach, and it all got lined up. What I mean by right is right for the program.
Yeah, I drove back from Little Rock late Saturday night, and I know a lot of people from that part of the state drive home late at night too after ball games, and I'm not talking about myself, but I hung around Little Rock a little bit before I came back, and I passed the buses back Conway, and I thought about those, I don't know how many of you have ridden on a bus lately. I mean the old Trailways buses, That's what those buses are like, and minus the cigarette smell from the old days. But, I mean, they're small buses. You got 300-pound dudes in there. Some of them are, physically aching. A lot of them are. And that's a long ride in a bus coming back after a ball game.
For a home game.
About the time the Razorbacks turned north up the mountain at Alma, ASU was pulling into Jonesboro if they hadn't arrived already. So, for the participants, the day doesn't end when the game ends. The game doesn't end, the day doesn't end when, they drive 15 minutes to the house. And we ought to be talking about them a little bit more. I've not heard one single word about the participants over the last 48 hours. Never heard anybody even bring it up.
Well, we can ask about that, too.
All right.
It's 6:17. Good morning. The Chuck and Bo show, politics and sports collide on Tuesday, September 9th, and we'll get to your thoughts coming up. You're right, Chuck. You're right. You're right.
You're not wrong, Chuck.
Because
that's all I wanted to hear. That's really all I wanted to hear.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like walk-ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites, like the best burger you can get anywhere. And more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home.
The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If your performance is like it is blocking, if your performance is in our secondary is like it in your real life, they're going to call you in the office, shut you down, look you in the eye, and tell you two simple words. Hit the road, you're fired.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wow. Ole Miss coming up. They don't know who they're going to play at quarterback. Or at least we're not sure who they're going to play at quarterback. Austin Simmons, their starter, who's thrown 4 picks in 2 games, went down with an injury. Seemed like he was cleared to play, but then Trinidad Chambliss came in to finish the game off. They were doing a lot of running plays, and he's more of a running quarterback. But Ole Miss is not the offense they were a year ago, and the line, I believe, Bart, in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room has already moved.
It has. It's moved from 9.5 all the way down to 8 as of this morning.
I think people are jumping on the Razorbacks.
I think we'll see 2 quarterbacks for Ole Miss. I would be surprised if we don't.
So we got that on Saturday night. But in the meantime, we have the governor.
In the meantime, we're arguing about War Memorial Stadium.
Again.
The never-ending issue.
David and Cersei, you are on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Okay, guys, I could talk all day about the games in Little Rock, but I'll try not to. Everyone loves nostalgia. Everyone loves their memories. I have been a Central Arkansas guy. I've driven to Fayetteville for a ball game one time in my life. It's just not what I wanted to do. I didn't enjoy it. I tried to catch one in Little Rock once a year maybe, and let the rest of the people go the rest of the games. And I have a lot of good memories, 42-6 over Alabama. Whew, man, those were the good old days. I can remember TCU, a bad TCU team, coming in there and beating a good Lou Holtz team. People were not happy. I can remember a boy named Jones for the Texas Longhorns who caught a touchdown pass in the north end zone on the last play of the game to beat us. And our poor coach almost had to have an escort just to get to the tunnel to get out of the stadium. I'll never forget it. But you know what? Looking back, I can remember a lot of things. I can remember when I had 2 good knees. But you know what? I don't anymore because I'm too old to have good knees, And coming to Little Rock is not feasible for our football team. It's history. It's not good for the team. It's not good for our program. Financially, we're coming up on a 9-game SEC season. It's going to be hard on our players, harder to win. And granted, we will have more fans in Little Rock than the other team we play, but that's not a home game. We need to play our games in a spot that is best for the university and is best for the program, best for the players. Fans need to stay out of it and let the right thing happen. Okay? That's all I have to say, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, David.
Thank you.
Thanks for weighing in. 877-377-6963. You get to have a voice today if you want to hop in on the great stadium debate of the last 30 years. It has, we thought, so how did we get to this point? Why did we get to the end of the contract and then it's like, well, hold on, nothing to see here as far as the contract goes, everything to see here as far as more games at War Memorial go?
There was a period.
Do we have an agreement?
There was a period 7-8 years ago where it seemed like, the contract was expiring then, and it seemed inevitable that would be it. And then the issue popped up again. We talked about this last week. I said last week, guys, there's going to be something happen. The idea that this is just going to just roll on down and we're going to stop playing games there and they're going to say okay without a whimper, that was never going to happen. That was, that crowd right there provided political opportunity, and it's being taken advantage of.
Yeah. 877-377-6963. We got
phone lines lit up, baby.
They're coming. Let me give you a another clip here that we heard yesterday from Lane Kiffin as we touch on the game occasionally. We'll come back and take calls after the break. But if you want to get in here, hop in here now. Kiffin had his news conference yesterday as well. 6 o'clock, again, Ole Miss hosting Arkansas on Saturday.
Teams are able to, really change from year to year. So the year before doesn't mean very much. You used to have some teams, maybe they were down in a position area or a whole offense or defense. And then you're like, well, you play them again the next year, they're probably down again. Everybody just has the ability now with the portal and money to fix their problems. And I think you're seeing that in the conference. And it's why our bottom of our conference is, I think, different than everybody else. The teams, because they fixed their problems. These guys have a lot of new players that they've plugged into places where I think they probably wanted to get better, and they look like it.
Wow. Isn't that what we said in the offseason? That Arkansas has gone out and addressed their issues, gotten better? I think that's what has happened in 2 games. Now let's go see if they can do it a third game in Oxford. Not in some other part of Mississippi, in Oxford.
Jackson.
Can they go play in Jackson?
Not anymore.
All of your thoughts coming up next on the Chuck and Bo Show. See, this is what the Chuck and Bo Show is. You just show up and have coffee with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Summer storms and heavy rains can sneak up fast, so make sure your gutters are ready to handle it all. Hog Trough Gutters, locally owned and operated with 30 years of experience, installs seamless gutters made on site to protect your home. They're fully licensed and insured. Every job is hydro tested, and each one comes with a 20-year warranty. Proudly serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. Schedule your free inspection today at hoggutters.com.
Today's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Isn't it interesting when something doesn't go our way and we immediately start blaming people, and there's this rare occasion where there is nobody to blame, and you have to deal with the fact that it's just you.
You're right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's 54, high of 82 today, Chuck.
54. I love it.
Right now. Where are we going first?
Don.
Okay. Don, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. We've got a full deck of calls. We'll get to all of you. Don, good morning.
Hey, good morning, crew. Let me ask you, Chuck, this question. I'm 65 years old in a couple of days, but I can remember my dad saying, and I also heard Frank Brohl say this, that he didn't really always want to play games in Little Rock, and he pushed against it for many a year, and also he didn't want to play in-state like ASU and Conway team. Do you remember anything about that, Chuck?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Coach Broyles didn't want to play in-state teams. Now, I never heard him say he didn't like going to Little Rock. When it became a financial issue in the late 90s, that's when he was front and center then because, I mean, that was his job at that point. I don't know any coach in their heart of hearts that wants to load their team up on a bus and drive 3 hours for a home game. I don't know anyone that really wants to do that. I never heard him until he was athletic director, well into his time as athletic director.
Exactly.
I never heard anything come up on Little Rock.
Well, see, here's the thing that I heard, and it stuck with me, and I want to be right or wrong about it, but he didn't want to play like ASU. For an example.
Well, now that part's true. That part's true.
But Chuck, the reason why I think that he didn't want to play is a possibility of getting beat by them and then hurting recruiting within the state.
Well, I think the biggest thing, if you knew Coach Broyles, I mean, financial matters always took precedent, and at the time, Arkansas's athletic program was by and large funded by the eastern half of the state because that's where the money was, is where the farmers were.
Exactly, over there by Jonesboro, exactly.
It's why they played in Little Rock. And so the idea, I'm sure, was that, those are our fans. Why would we play a school in their backyard that they might gravitate towards?
Exactly. My first game was at Little Rock as a toddler, and it was raining. I can't remember who we played, but my daddy warmed us up underneath Hog Heaven. I'll never forget it. It's my very first Razorback game in Little Rock. And I used to be from Pine Bluff. I'm in Fayetteville now, but I used to go to all the Little Rock games. And my opinion back then was, please don't take them away, because of the drive. But we went in motorhomes to all the games after that. So my daddy was a wild tuss hog. They worked for IP, and they, the donation was matched. So, those were just good years.
What about now?
It's sad. Huh?
What about now? What do you think about now?
What do you think?
Well, what are you for now?
Oh, no, I'm for having it up here, to be honest with you, because of the financial reasons for NIL and stuff like that. But I don't want to take anything away from Southeast Arkansas fans and the lower half of the state. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that, can't afford to drive up here, and it's very understandable,
Mm-hmm.
But it's heartbreaking in a way, and in a way it's not. And everything has changed. I think for the better, to be honest with you. I enjoy college football a lot better, knowing that it's almost like shuffling up cards every year now. You have great team or you don't. And it's almost like Christmas. It's almost like opening a Christmas present to see what's in the box and how good the toy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don, thanks for weighing in. Appreciate your perspective.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on today.
Have a great Tuesday, Don.
When people talk about travel, I want to be clear on this. Hey, I've been making that drive a long time, and I know others have been making more drives to Fayetteville for a long time, in some cases longer than me. I'm not talking about my drive. I mean, I've never resented driving down there, never resented driving back. I'm talking about the players. I'm talking about the guys who play, the ones that entertain you, and it's a physical game, and it's a grueling game. I'm talking about them on the travel. That should be all that matters.
Well, I get what he's saying about fans and fans being able to get to games. But if you don't win, you don't have fans. I mean, fans are going away. And fans have had plenty of opportunities to come to games, just quote games in Little Rock, regardless of who they're playing. And a lot of them have chosen not to.
Let's not act like War Memorial Stadium's been full repeatedly. That was the first full house in almost 10 years. And I do think nostalgia had a lot to do with that.
Going out of business sale.
I said this yesterday in the 8 o'clock hour. If Arkansas and Arkansas State were to play next year in Little Rock and it wasn't 75 degrees, you wouldn't have as many people as you had this past Saturday.
Arthur's here. Arthur from Vermont, rehabilitating Arthur. Good morning.
Good morning. The big facts there, Chuck. But, it sounds like that Lane Kiffin maybe watched a little bit of game tape. And, he's kind of like tempering the expectations of the fan base because he's like, it kind of reminds me of the game in 20. I think that was a year, the last couple of years kind of run together a little bit. But where maybe we don't just shut them out, but we get turnovers at the right time, and our offense is a whole lot better than Kentucky's offense. I mean, let's just say there's a different dynamic from Calzaga to Traylon Green. And, I think the only thing we can really take away from War Memorial is when they demo it, somebody's got to grab those panels and take them up to Fayetteville. But, I think Lane Kiffin kind of knows the truth. I don't think we're going to stop their offense, but due to their inexperience at quarterback, I could see him moving between the 20s and then getting bogged down and maybe getting forced into a mistake. But at least that's how I hope it goes down. And I hope Bart took a look at my screenshots from this past weekend. And, hey, I just want to know what you think, bud.
Yeah, he hit 3 parlays. Multiple team parlays. You all right, Arthur?
I am. I'm on the treadmill, so I'm doing okay.
You're on right now?
I normally wait till... Yeah, I'm on it right now. I've been on 30 minutes, a little over 2.5 miles, and I'm cooling down a bit, and then I'm going to go move my laundry over and then do some weight training. Because, look, I'm 55 years old. My credit sucks. My future's not too bright, but at least I'm good looking and in good shape.
There you go.
Hey, look at the bright side, man.
Attaboy.
That's a glass half full kind of guy.
Just keep talking through it with us here on the Chuck and Bo Show. We'll get you through.
All right, buddy.
All right,
Have
my
a
man.
good day.
You too, man.
That's awesome.
That's incredible. Jim is in Greenwood. Jay, he always has at least one good one. Jim, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Jim.
Well, I've got a plan.
All right, let's hear
to
it.
make everything. Yeah, to make everything great.
Okay.
How about a little rock and roll concert to replace every Razorback game that was played? How many of them were played back in the day? 4?
Yeah,
3?
Sometimes.
Well, I think we could sell out that stadium with a good rock and roll concert and with the name A Little Rock and Roll.
Hey, back in 1980, they had the Wild Hog Boogie there. And I am old enough to remember. I am old enough to remember the Wild Hog Boogie.
Yeah, what was that like?
They packed it. It was packed.
What was it?
It was a rock concert. It was a festival.
Anybody we know of?
Yeah. All your traditional Southern rock bands were there. I think Molly Hatchet might have been the headliner. But
the Doobie Brothers.
Oh yeah.
The Doobie Brothers.
Look it up.
I just did. Molly Hatchet was in fact there.
Molly Hatchet was the headliner.
The Atlanta Rhythm section.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm telling you.
That's a good idea.
The Rolling Stones played War Memorial Stadium once.
Wild book.
Hey, the biggest crowd ever was Billy Graham.
Let's do that too.
Amazing.
We'll do that.
Benny Hinn.
Do you want to start it or end it with like a Billy Graham?
I just think.
Which part in the series is the Billy Graham like act, or whatever you want to call it, revival? You put that at the beginning or the end? I'm going with the end.
Put it at. Yeah, the end is great because that's when you want it. It's at the end.
Yeah. All right, Jim.
That's a good call, Jim. Thank you.
Thank Thank you.
Look at Jim coming up.
You're
with
reading all about
with
it, aren't you,
solutions.
Bart?
Well,
it was an historic event in Arkansas. It really was.
I've dug into the history. It was in 1980.
As
1980.
I was yeah.
I've
wee lad.
I've
17.
leaned into the concert history of War Memorial Stadium.
I'm
and
telling
it is fascinating.
It really is. It really is fascinating. You look at all the bands.
1994, the Rolling Stones and Bryan Adams.
Yes.
Let's go.
1995.
Eddie had to have been at that one.
Oh, yeah.
Elton John and Billy Joel. 1995. Also
Dang.
in 95, the Eagles.
Dang.
Wow.
2001, George Strait, Alan Jackson, Brad Paisley, and a bunch of other country.
What happened?
Let's do this.
Let's do that.
This is a much better idea.
I'll go to that.
Jim is on to something.
Phillip's got to get to school. Phillip's in Mountain Home. Phillip, good morning. What you got for us today?
Good morning.
Hey, Phillip.
Let it rip, buddy.
Well, okay. So I still cannot believe there are living, breathing creatures on this earth that rooted for Arkansas State. Let me tell you something, okay? My dad has been a lifelong Arkansas fan. He has never gone away from Arkansas. He would never go away from Arkansas.
Really?
And, yes, and, oh, man, I think I have like a cold or something.
You sound, it was either
Anyway.
that or you're just growing up. Hey, Steve, thank you for Chick-fil-A.
Wow, breakfast.
Keep going,
But,
Phillip. Keep going.
Anyway, so
You think they should play games in Little Rock?
No.
right.
Well, I have no connection. I am just a 13-year-old boy that loves playing video games at
Young
home.
man.
You're a young man.
Young man
No,
now.
Yeah.
I have no correlation to War Memorial Stadium. I still have no idea why some people still want to play there. And also, Sarah Huckabee Sanders wants to play it.
She's the
in
governor now. Be respectful.
Miss Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Play it in
Oh, my gosh. That was good, Phillip.
That was. Chuck has thoughts. I want to have some coffee and let you guys roll for a while. This is going to be good.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Football season's here, and Flight by Yingling is the light beer built for game days. Tastes like a Yingling, but it's a light beer, and only 95 calories. Flight raises the bar for what a light beer should be, and now it comes in a 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle and skinny cans. Perfect for tailgates, watch parties, or just kicking back after the game. Pick it up at your favorite store or ask your bartender. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag, still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Has your roof been taking a beating after the summer we had with the heat, the sun, and those sudden storms? Teamwork Roofing and Construction knows your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside. And their expert team delivers top-quality roofing and construction services all over Arkansas and beyond. And they only use the best materials while treating every project like it's their very own. Visit their website, teamworkbuilt.com, or you can find them on Facebook. Teamwork Roofing, built on quality, powered by teamwork.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopascal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Pascal Price Check. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
WT Equipment is overstocked on new Bobcat equipment. The lots are packed and ready to move with special fall deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built for any job. Take your pick from compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more, all backed by WT Equipment's trusted service and support. And don't forget, WT Equipment's Fall on the Lot community event is Saturday, October 4th from 12 to 4 p.m. Food, games, prizes, and family fun only at WT Equipment.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen. The Chuck and Bo Show.
You're just going to have to go today. You're just going to have to. Today is going to be
what I
maybe
told myself.
one of those days you're just going to have to go, and you'll be glad you did.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know, we're pretty transparent here on the show, Chuck, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm not really sure how this interview with the governor is going to go at 7:35.
It's going to go well. We're going to be respectful.
Well, yeah,
and
I'm not worried about that, but we have opinions that are different than hers, and I just wonder how the best approach on that, how to handle that is. You got thoughts for me?
Not right off the top of my head, no. We'll do what we always do. We'll figure it out when the mics open up.
Confidently wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do.
Just like this is I'm just interested to hear her perspective on this. I think some you know, when you get quotes in a press release, you don't have a chance to get more. You know, I want to be able to just hear more. But one question I have is just, how does this help the Razorbacks win more games? Does this help them as a football team? Does this help them as a football program? And we've talked about this for years, and I'm serious. And it's not just about playing games in Little Rock. It's about everything. It's about the Bud Walton reseeding. Like, what do you want? Do you want the athletic department to do the best they can possibly do to win games? And I realize that there's a lot of flaws in the athletic department. And there's a lot of flaws in every business. But that doesn't mean we should purposefully make decisions other than what's best for the athletic department or the teams in it because we want something different as fans, right? Like, what's best for them? Like, if they made how much money on the receipt at Bud Walton that Hunter said? Was it $10 million? $10 million. And I realize that moves somebody's seat that can't afford it, and I get that. But would you rather have the seats that you always have, or would you rather have an athletic department that gets more money, which is what everybody needs right now? And I know that's easy for me to talk about because I'm not the person that's moving seats in the arena. But it is a question that I think everyone has to answer. I think it's the right question. Is that the right? Seems like the right question to me. If you're the AD or you're the coach, like, isn't that what you're hired to do?
Well, I think part of the disdain right now for moving games out of Little Rock for some has to do with things like basketball reseeding and just the overall general feeling that they're taking it away from us. They're taking our teams away from us. They're either pricing us out of the market or they're moving the games because of money. I get that sentiment. I really do. And if I was living downstate, I might feel that way too, very honestly. I think all of it goes hand in hand. But, we bring one issue into another, and all of a sudden there's more gray area than there was when we started.
RazorbackRaffle.com. The next raffle will be the Notre Dame game. If you want to participate, RazorbackRaffle.com.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call. Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburbans. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eye. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust. My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at McDonaldEye.com.
So I spent yesterday, you don't mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I just have, I imagine in your house. I've never been in your home, not because I don't want to. I've just never been invited. I imagine.
I've never been to your house either.
I don't know. You've been to anybody's house.
No, that's what I'm saying. I've not been invited either.
Do you go to anybody's house?
No.
Like anybody?
No one invites me.
Chuck's key to life is you don't come to my house and I won't go to yours. We'll just live out here in the wild together.
You're reading me like a children's
But I
story.
have.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
We interrupt the great stadium debate just long enough to tell you that the Memphis game a week from Saturday, if you have not heard, is going to kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning at the Liberty Bowl. Breakfast at the Liberty Bowl, Bart. Yeah, Bart's excited about it.
Wait a second. Why are you booing?
Actually, I'm okay with this one.
Yeah, well, it's road
Get
game.
in, get out, man.
Yeah, you want to play Memphis in the morning.
That's right.
You don't want to play them
That's
at night.
right. That's right. I'm just
you're
I'm
gonna
just
get a
anti.
tougher opponent at night.
You do not want to play a game against Memphis at the Liberty Bowl at night. They have a really good record in night games there in recent years.
Arkansas is playing Ole Miss this weekend, 6 o'clock in Oxford, number 17th ranked Ole Miss.
I'd like for that game to be at 11 a.m.
I would too.
Coming in on the Razorbacks, who started off as a 9.5-point underdog.
It's down to 8.
Down to 8 now. You've got Arkansas and Memphis at 11. The other announcement that came yesterday was the basketball game. Arkansas is going to take on Texas Tech December 13th at American Airlines Center in Dallas in a rematch of the Sweet 16 game of a year ago.
What time?
11 a.m.
All the big games are at 11, Bart.
Yeah. No, look, guys, I'm so over this. I'm so over this. Like I saw a video from Auburn over the weekend, and look, Auburn did not have a big game. They played Ball State, but the atmosphere and like the light show and the music and everything they had, it was an event. And it looked awesome, and it looked really fun to be at, right? That's Auburn against Ball State, and it was at night. You cannot tell me that any major college football game should be played at 11 a.m.
You said every game just be played at night.
No.
But not in the morning.
Put the ones that make sense. Like, let's ease into the day a little bit. Like. Texas, Ohio State would have been so much more fun had it been a game at night at the Horseshoe. Like we're just losing part of the soul of college football by playing some of these. Like, look,
American fabric.
I will say
it's being ripped apart.
I will say it till I'm blue.
Just like games in Little Rock. We're
That's
not playing
right.
there. You're losing
say
part of the
it.
soul of the state.
That's right.
Blue in the face. The fact that the Arkansas-Notre Dame game is at 11 a.m. is an incredible injustice.
It's crime on college football.
It's a crime on college football and humanity in general.
Yeah.
Like, that game deserves to be at night with an incredible atmosphere at Razorback Stadium. Night games are just different.
We do. It
They're
sounds
just
like an
different.
attack on your mental health as well.
Well, it's becoming one. As we get more and more of these big games at 11 a.m. Like, just, what are we doing? This is just
Do you have a hard
absolutely
time
insane.
getting going on Saturday? Is that part of the deal? I mean, most people by 11 on Saturday are ready for a game.
Well, yeah, I'm ready for a game.
Just not your team.
But I'm ready for Kentucky and Eastern Michigan to get us going.
Right.
I'm not
You're
ready
like a
for
warm-up.
I'm not ready for Alabama, Wisconsin at 11 a.m. I don't want that. I want that to be at 6 o'clock, 6:30 in Tuscaloosa.
I'm going to actually put this on the list for Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who will join us at 7:35. Can you do anything about 11 a.m. games?
Just like, hey, let's pass a law in Arkansas. That's just not allowed.
Yeah, let's do that.
We don't do that here.
Exactly.
Arkansas and Memphis is an 11 a.m. kick, right? Vanderbilt and Georgia State is an evening game. That's a primetime game. That's a primetime game. Like, I understand that this particular example, if you're Arkansas, you want to play that game at 11 a.m. over in Memphis. I understand that. But just as an example, like, what are we doing here?
Well, I think it might have to do with, I know it has to do with TV inventory and
I know
ads that are sold.
I know it does. It's all wrong, though.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it right.
Listen, it's the same. The business of college athletics has made it wrong for fans in a lot of ways. But they think they could overcome it.
If it's such a big deal to play big games at 11 a.m., then put Alabama, Georgia at 11 a.m. Do it. I dare you. It's not. It's already a primetime game because, of course, it's a primetime game because it's one of the biggest games of the season. And so, of course, it's the primetime ABC game. Like, what are we like? But if you're so serious, about 11 a.m. being a big deal in a big spot, play that game at 11 a.m.
But
see how people in Alabama and Georgia react.
Arkansas and Texas Tech at 11, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the basketball announcement I made.
Yeah.
We don't know when the Houston-Arkansas game is going to be. Do we have a date for that?
I bet it's at 11.
Yeah, I bet it.
No, that would be noon on the East Coast. Yeah. It is December 20th, but they have not announced a tip-off time yet.
I mean, Cal's
going to be in Newark.
He's out here playing people now.
Yeah.
Out here playing people. So the governor announced yesterday she wants Arkansas State and Arkansas to play on an annual basis. Here's what the U of A Board of Trustees said. Kelly Eichler, who chairs the Board of Trustees, issued a statement. We did receive the governor's letter, and I know I speak for my fellow trustees in saying that we appreciate her leadership and passion for the Razorbacks. Saturday's game was certainly a fun experience that reflected well on our capital city. As trustees, our role is to consult with the university administration to determine the best course of action for Razorback athletics, and I am sure with the governor's input, this will be a topic for a future board conversation.
Well, it's going to be discussed. There's no question about that. But I will go back to what I said yesterday. There is a part of me that believes that this, in the end, will be much ado about nothing. That
you don't think it's going to actually happen?
No, I think that it's already done, and I think that the people that are saying what they're saying in large part know it's already done, and that's giving them cover to say it.
Okay.
That's sort of what I think. No, I don't think Arkansas is going to play in Little Rock anymore because they can't, based on the schedule right now. And that's another thing. Let's say that this came to pass. Who's going to buy out all these other games?
Hunter Yurichek said the football schedule is pretty set through 2030, so there will not be an opportunity to play the Red Wolves in a non-conference game until at least 2031.
And I have a hard time believing that War Memorial Stadium physically is going to be improved between now and 2031. I have a hard time believing that.
Yurichek also said at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, we've got nothing really to gain by playing the game. We're supposed to win the game. We better win the game. If we lose the game, we've got everything to lose, and Arkansas State has everything to gain by playing this game. It's great for our state. I'm not going to say we'll never do it again, but we'll see what happens.
The state owns the stadium.
That was back before this game on Saturday.
State Department of Parks and Tourism runs the stadium, and they want to keep their stadium viable. They got bills to pay, too. They need the Razorbacks to play there. And it goes back to, everyone's got their own interests, business interests, whatever. They're trying to keep that stadium open. But I do think that between now and 2031, a lot's going to happen between now and then. We're going to make a lot more advancements as a society between now and then. And forgive me, but I just don't see anything in the past that makes me think War Memorial Stadium is going to keep up. I just don't.
Here's another thing that Yurichek said. I mean, I agree with all that, just so you know.
Oh.
I think you.
That's all I was looking for.
Here. The governor appoints the board, who appoints the president, who appoints a chancellor who signs my contracts. She has a voice, and we've had some conversations about it, and we're continuing to have conversations about it. I'll continue to have conversations with Chancellor Robinson and the board, and it will come to what's right, the right decision for all involved. So that's what everybody's saying. It's just coming out of this weekend and this celebration. It's like, well, let's keep doing it. And we'll talk to the governor here at 7:35 and just get her perspective on why. and do the positives outweigh the negatives? Can you make a case that this is the best thing for Razorback football? Is the governor's job to help the Razorbacks win games, or is the governor's job to do what's best for the state of Arkansas? And is what's best for the state of Arkansas the Razorbacks to win games? I just threw a lot in there to think about.
I think it's a miscalculation to believe that you're going to be able to recreate what you had Saturday year after year after year. 56-14 games aren't going to get it done year after year after year. It's not going to be 75 degrees in the early part of September year after year after year. It's just not. This was a wonderful day, and I enjoyed it as much as anyone. I mean, I really did. I thought it was fantastic. But I also went to the stadium that day with the idea that this is the last time. And that's part of what made it so fantastic, was I recalled every game I'd ever been to. I've been going to games there since, the late 70s, mid-70s. So, as a fan, I got a lot of memories there. So I think people were going to embrace that. But they didn't walk out of the stadium thinking, man, we got to keep doing this year after year after year. And if Arkansas State wants to play Arkansas every season, we got a big stadium right here in town. You can come every year if you want. But they don't want to do that. The idea that they're confusing the issue here, and they're making it out that you don't want to play Arkansas State. No, you don't want to play in Little Rock. You don't want to play at War Memorial Stadium, more accurately. It's not that you don't want to play in Little Rock. You don't want to play at War Memorial Stadium. That's the issue.
There's always issues, and you have to overcome them. You got to get there, first of all, which is inconvenient for a home game. And then when you get there, the stadium has issues, and everybody knows that. And it's not taking shots at it. It's just what we all know. I mean, there were obvious infrastructure, traffic issues, internet issues. Every year there's something, and it's just part of the makeup of the stadium handling a crowd of that size. And so there are a lot of negatives to it. There are some positives that allow fans to get there from other parts of the state who don't get there always, but they also have chosen, in a lot of cases, not to do that in the past. But Saturday was a special occasion.
If you're sitting in the stands, the internet going down means you can't send your friends pictures. If you're trying to telecast the ball game, as ESPN was Saturday, the internet going down means your entire operation is adversely affected, and you can't transmit the game. And anyone who watched the game on the internet Saturday had some issues from time to time. And that's just the reality of the situation there. And as far as I can tell, there's been no real effort to correct it.
Well, if you need improvements like War Memorial Stadium can use and has used in the past, Teamwork Roofing and Construction can help. They can renovate a building for you. They can put a new roof on.
Put a dome over.
Put a roof on War Memorial for you. They got all the quality materials to get it done. They're great people that do a great job that you can count on, you can depend on. You know the crews that show up are certified. They use the best materials. No shortcuts with Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Malarkey Shingles, McElroy Metal, low slope systems. They've got all the bases covered. Malarkey Shingles, for example, anything but standard, because standard's just that, and roofing shingles should not be standard. They should last, and they should perform better and protect longer and be more sustainable. That's what you get when you work with Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Always coming in on budget and getting it done on time. Built on quality, powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Teamworkbuilt.com. Check them out online. Yeah, see, this is what the Chuck and Bo Show is. You just show up and have coffee with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Alyssa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hogtroff Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up, and don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hogtroff, you get the best of both worlds: professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection, or visit hoggutters.com.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
That's special.
No idea how a McMuffin could bring a man back to life. Because I'm just going to tell you, I wolfed mine down moments ago, and I feel like $1 million.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, let me talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, for just a moment. How's that house doing, Bo? Everything
it's
good
great.
over there?
Yeah, Ryder's growing up. He's a month old now.
Yeah.
They got the nursery all set up. Everything's great, man.
It's
awesome. First home.
It seems to always work out that way when you partner with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, whether it's your first time out or whether you've been doing this your whole life. Sure is nice to partner with somebody that knows what they're doing, particularly when you're spending more money than you probably ever spent in your life. Or if you're selling your home, you're going to bring in more money than maybe you've ever brought in your life. And you want somebody that understands the process, somebody that can guide you through it. It's nice to think you know all the answers, but generally speaking, we don't. And that's why we partner with professionals for transactions like these. And I've partnered with Weicker Realtors for years, and others are hopping on. They've been doing this since 1978, so they understand the process very well. If you're listing your home, You want to list it with someone who has a list of buyers a mile long, and they've got them at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith, Branson, and you can always log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Phillip's in Bentonville. Hey, Phillip, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning. Good morning, Chuck and Bo. Chuck, guys, I called in the Crafts and proposed this, and I want to know y'all's opinion. So Tommy stated that there's two conversations about ISU and playing at War Memorial Stadium. The first question would be, conversation is A, are we going to do it? So, and like you said, you've got the governor trying to weigh in. And if you do want to do this, do you go to, what is your thought on going, since the state controls War Memorial Stadium, do you go in and you say, okay, guys, here's the thing. If we're going to do this, A, there's going to have to be some modifications, which I doubt is going to be done, because it's going to cost millions of dollars to renovate War Memorial Stadium. And two, do you say, okay, when we play ASU, then ASU gets the home game at War Memorial Stadium, and they come to Fayetteville for a Razorback home game. What is your thought on that proposal? Because I don't think it's going to happen, because the state's not going to want to put the money into War Memorial Stadium to renovate it.
I think it's overthinking the issue, just to be honest. I think those are scenarios that'll never materialize.
Ryan's in Hot Springs. Ryan, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. The governor coming up at 7:35, by the way.
Morning, Ryan.
Hey, guys. Hey, buddy. I just wanted to yesterday, whenever I called in, we were talking about it a little bit. My frustration is just and I get it, the infrastructure thing. I get that. But we're giving up a home game potentially in Fayetteville, or even potentially a game in Little Rock, to go play a game on the road like Colorado State or Tulsa, or in Memphis, and nobody bats an eyelash. And that's just where my frustration was at yesterday. And I just wanted to clearly communicate that. And I hope you'll have a great day and go Hogs.
And,
thanks, Ryan.
That's a different issue, though, and it kind of goes to where there's several different angles that you can come from on this issue, and that's certainly one of them. And a lot of people have expressed that.
Sterling, Center Ridge, what's up, my man?
Hey, nothing much, guys. And I guess I'm with Brian. I ain't gonna lie, I'm biased. I like the games in Little Rock. It ain't about me being selfish or wanting this or wanting that, but the notion that we're going to find that the reason we ain't have this great recruiting class because we missed out on 5-star because we played a game in Little Rock, or the reason that we're not competing for national championships because we played that one game in Little Rock, that's what bothers me. And
well, let me stop you just for a second. I'm going to stop you just for a second on the recruiting part. That doesn't just go for football. There was a 5-star basketball recruit on campus this weekend. You can't take him to that game. And when these players for other sports come in, they want to go to a ball game because you can bet that the school you're recruiting against, they're going to have them in on a ball game weekend. So people think it's just football. It's not just football. It's everything.
We play why do we play a baseball game here?
Well, why
do we play a basketball game?
Totally
it's the facility.
Animal.
That's a different argument. Look, if Little Rock had a great football stadium, I guarantee you the Razorbacks would play down there.
You get 7 home games if you're lucky. You get 7 home games, and you're going to go play one of them 3 hours away. And it's not that it ruins everything, but you're asking the team to overcome one more obstacle that year. It's like we're making it work instead of doing what's best for the program.
Just because all the fans are cheering for you doesn't mean you didn't have to travel to get there. If you get on a bus or a plane and you spend the night in a hotel room, that's a road game. I don't care what the makeup of the fans are the next day. If you're traveling 3 hours and spending the night in a hotel, that is a road game. There are many, many official road games Arkansas plays that it doesn't take 3 hours to get to. I mean, they're going to play at Ole Miss this weekend. That flight to Oxford is going to be about an hour. I mean, they go to more trouble to get to Little Rock than they do a lot of conference road games.
Well, why don't they just fly then, Chuck?
Well, because at the same time, at this point in time, you're trying to make every dollar count because you got to pay players. For the same reason,
for
the same reason, university planes aren't flying around every day like they used to be. I mean,
they flew in the 60s. I mean, what's the difference between the 60s and 2025?
A lot.
They fly in the 60s.
A lot.
I mean, for
But
starters.
they flew in the 60s.
Wait.
I'm just talking about the plane ride.
I'm not.
They flew to Little Rock to play games in the 60s.
We're not going to look. We're not going to turn this into an argument about plane rides and school planes. That's not what this is about, and we both know that.
Okay. Y'all still love me?
I love you, Sterling.
Good mercy.
Hey, that's the thing about this issue. We're all Arkansans. We all got different opinions on it, and you know, we're all entitled to all of them. And a lot of it is provincial, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
I'll always love you.
That's just, Chuck's never even said that to me, Sterling. I mean, you guys, that's good. I'll be working towards that. I've spent a year just wanting to hear a little bit of I care for you song. I haven't gotten anything.
I care for you, son.
Yeah.
I care for you, bro. I care for you.
Y'all guys.
Hey.
Y'all guys have a great day. And
Hey,
like Ryan
thanks
said,
for
go
weighing
home.
in. Thanks for weighing in. We're going to talk to the governor when we come back. 877-377-6963. If you want to call or text the show, you can get in here. I was at the Fayetteville Auto Park yesterday, and boy, I saw those Silverados that Chuck has.
You want one, don't you?
Chevy in Fayetteville. And actually, I had to get another loaner because the tire
saw
that I
that
got
out
for
there.
my truck was too small. They ordered the wrong size. So at the tire shop. So we're getting that corrected. But in the meantime, the Fayetteville Auto Park was there for me to help me out for another day, and they will be for you too. They've got incredible deals on Acura, Chevys, Hondas, Toyotas, huge selection of pre-owned options. They've been in business for 25 years, built on trust, relationships, top-tier service, award-winning service and collision departments that help you get what you need done when you need it done, and those loaners are a key factor in not disrupting your day. Whether it's routine service or unexpected repairs, or you're just in the market for a new vehicle or a trade-in, you can drive with confidence when you deal with Northwest Arkansas's #1 volume dealer, the Fayetteville Auto Park. Governor Sanders, next. Chuck has a little bit of a bad habit of getting on Facebook and buying things.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
WT Equipment is overstocked on new Bobcat equipment. The lots are packed and ready to move with special fall deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built for any job. Take your pick from compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more, all backed by WT Equipment's trusted service and support. And don't forget, WT Equipment's Fall on the Lot community event is Saturday, October 4th from 12 to 4 p.m. Food, games, prizes, and family fun only at WT Equipment.
Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburbans. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
we have a good enough team. If we play well, we can play with anybody on our schedule. I may be the only guy that believes that, but I believe it with all. Well, no, I'm not. I got 115 that believe that as well.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're watching a game, Walk-On's a great place to go. You can see all the NFL games. Never miss a game at Walk-On's. All the Razorback games, they got the sound on. That's the thing about watching a game. If you're going to watch a Razorback road game at a sports bar, you want to be able to hear it really well, see it really well, have some great food. That's what they have at Walk-On's. And they've also got Flight by Yuengling. And you know what that is? It tastes like a Yuengling, but it's a light beer. 95 calories. The next generation of light beer is Flight by Yuengling. Raise the bar.
Raise it.
Raise it now. And ask for it on draft, or when you're out shopping, you get it in the skinny cans, the 16-ounce resealable aluminum bottles. Great for tailgating. There's a lot of that in Little Rock. How about that scene out there? It looked like years gone by, didn't it?
You know, there's a spot up in the press box where they've got a big glass, and you can look out at the golf course. And, yeah, it was packed. I've got family members. I got a text from one at 6:30 in the morning Saturday. We're the first ones here, you know, and they were ready to roll. And, you know, they had a great day. They had a fun day.
It was a great day. It was a great day of celebration for a lot of people. And as one person said on the show yesterday, it was kind of like a family reunion for a lot of people. And then Governor Huckabee came out yesterday and said she'd like to see this played every year on an annual basis. And Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is joining us now on the Chuck and Bo Show. Governor, thanks for making time for us today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Governor. It's an honor.
Absolutely. Good morning, and hope you guys are off to a great start of your week.
Well, you've done the work for us.
You've done a little show prep for us here this week, Governor.
Creating the conversation.
I'm just here to serve.
Thank you.
Just here to serve, here to help.
What is your thought process behind why this should continue to be an annual event, what we saw on Saturday?
Look, I think there are a lot of factors that go into play. I understand there's some challenges too, but War Memorial Stadium is a historic place in our state, and it's not just a place where we've had historic football games, but you've seen the likes of Billy Graham and President Harry Truman, Rolling Stones, George Strait come out to this iconic place, bring people from every corner of our state together. It's a much more accessible location to people in South Arkansas and Eastern Arkansas and even the capital city. And it's a tradition that I think growing up in Arkansas, growing up in a Razorback fan is a unique one, and it's special to our state and something I hope we don't lose. And based off of what I saw this weekend as well, I think that the rest of the state, in what we hear and, you know, people we talk to, they're hungry to see a game in Little Rock continue, and a matchup between UA, ASU showed out to be, I think, one of the most energetic crowds we've had in a really long time. And I think it is a great way to celebrate football season and bring all of our state together, and just a really fun time of fellowship and football.
Is there the feeling this can be replicated year after year after year?
I think so. I think there's certainly a desire. One, I think people really want the Little Rock game. I know that there have been their fair share of challenges, but also if we're going to bring in another school from a different conference outside of the SEC, which we have always done and will continue to do, clearly less so moving forward, but still it's going to happen, whether it's Kent State or Alcorn State or Georgia Southern. There's always a school like that we bring into play. Why not let that be an Arkansas team, keep that money in our state, grow both teams' fan bases? I don't think that you can make the argument that there's not some recruiting that can take place by seeing the crowd come together and cheer on two Arkansas teams, and high school students that might not have the chance to go up to a Fayetteville game may have the chance to get to a Little Rock game in a way that they wouldn't otherwise, and see the Razorbacks take on another team. And I certainly think that the energy and the enthusiasm showed us that this is something that people want. I think it can easily be replicated in the future.
How do you make the money work? because that's a big part of this. I'm sure in your conversations with particularly the U of A, that's come up.
Yeah, and I think there are a couple different parts of that. Look, we usually pay one of those other schools anywhere from $800,000 to north of $1 million. I think we can do it for less. The travel is also much smaller, so that cost is lower. If we sell out every single ticket like we did on Saturday, the energy that I saw on Saturday in Little Rock was infinitely better, and the stadium was infinitely more full than the game the week before on Saturday in Fayetteville. And so I don't know if you went to both games, but there was a noticeable difference in the number of empty seats. And I think if we keep that momentum up and don't lose it, then we can figure out a way to make the money side work out throughout some of the negotiation. And that's really what this is. Let's bring both teams to the table. Let's negotiate and see if we can get to a place that it makes sense. Nobody's looking to hurt either school and not make this something that's a win for everybody. But I also think it's a big win for the state.
Yeah, Governor, it seems like it was a great event. Whether you could replicate it in terms of people thinking, oh, this is the last time, they've got a lot of memories, they want to go have this one occasion, I guess remains to be seen. You certainly seem to think that can happen. What do you say to people probably like me that say, I don't see how this is good for the Razorbacks. And if their job is to win as much as possible, and this is an inconvenience in their season, you mentioned some challenges. What is your answer to that if that was to be said to you by somebody in the athletic department, for example?
I think it's good for people from around the state to have access to Razorback games. And not everybody can afford to take the weekend and go to Fayetteville. You're coming from Texarkana or El Dorado or Lake Village or West Memphis or Jonesboro. It's a lot harder to get to Fayetteville, but you may be able to get to Little Rock and you can get back home. You're not paying the cost of a hotel either to stay overnight. What I'd like to see also, I think doing this potentially, I don't want to be overly prescriptive, but traditionally the Thanksgiving game is really poorly attended in Fayetteville. And I think that doing this over Thanksgiving, where you have a lot of students from around the state that are home, helps us build out and make this game what we got to see on Saturday, and another way that we help replicate that level of attendance and enthusiasm. I mean, we've been playing, out of the last, I think, 78 football seasons of the Razorbacks, 76 of them have been played in War Memorial Stadium, and it's a tradition I just hope we don't lose without at least having a really serious discussion about how we make it work. And again, that makes it an upside for Fayetteville as well. I know some people are worried about what happens if they lose. I think the same argument could be made. What happens if they lose to Missouri State? What happens when they lose to UAB? Those are all things nobody wants to happen, but you're going to play a game 10 times, 9 times they're going to win. Once they might lose, but that's going to happen to one of those other outside of conference teams at some point. I'd rather keep the money, the excitement, and building the fan base here in Arkansas.
It seems like there might be two issues here. I mean, playing Arkansas State and then playing in Little Rock. I mean, I guess some would ask, why would you have to play Arkansas State and Little Rock at War Memorial Stadium every year? Why couldn't it be in Fayetteville?
I think the question is, why wouldn't it be in Little Rock? You have, again, it's a part of accessibility and that opportunity to bring some tourism and excitement to our largest city, to our capital city, that frankly, the success of our capital city impacts all of our state, and it matters for Fayetteville, it matters for Jonesboro, it matters for Mena, for Little Rock to do well. And so it is a catalyst for many other things. And so I think that is a part of the conversation not to be ignored or left off of the table. But it also gives a neutral site to 2 Arkansas universities to come together, but still have a huge fan base in that location. It allows, again, I think people from every corner of our state to come together to celebrate our state's 2 biggest universities, our 2 most competitive football programs, and do so in a way that benefits our entire state, including our capital city.
Governor, the schedule's kind of laid out between now and 2030. They're in contracts for non-conference games. If this were to actually come to fruition, is it something that would happen before or after that, in your opinion?
I mean, I'm not the negotiator here. I'm just the encourager to see it happen. I'd love for us to be able to do it as soon as possible, sooner rather than later. I don't want to lose the momentum that we have behind what we were able to experience this past week. And so I'd love for us to be able to try to figure out a way to make it work as soon as possible in the next upcoming season.
And then before we get you out of here, is there anything you can do about 11 a.m. kickoffs? Bart, who is our producer here and was talking to you before you came on, he would really, really love to see 11 a.m. games be outlawed by the state of Arkansas so that the rest of the country would know when they're doing TV scheduling that we don't play at 11 a.m.
If I figure out that level of power, I certainly would be happy to invoke it. I fully agree with your producer. The 11 a.m. game is the least fun. I also have kids that play football, and it's usually on Saturday morning, and I really like to be able to watch the Razorbacks play in the afternoon. And so selfishly, I would love to see later games, and so I'm happy to help make the case for later games, but I don't know that I have much influence over that process.
Well, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, we really do appreciate you making time for us today to give your perspective and point of view.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on. And ultimately, I think that everybody comes down on the same side as we want what's best for Arkansas and look for a way for all of Arkansas to come out on top. And so that's really what we're trying to push, and hopefully we can find a way to make it work.
Well, thanks for coming on with us again, and have a great Tuesday.
You bet. Thanks, y'all.
You bet. Thank you. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders on the Chuck and Bo Show. We'll take a break and come back and react to that. Hey, mark your occasions at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. A lot of people were marking that moment at War Memorial Stadium as though it was going to be the last, but maybe it's not going to be the last, as we heard.
A premature purple bag.
Yeah, the premature purple bag still wins the day.
That's right.
It's undefeated.
Have to do it twice now.
You might just have to get another one at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, where it's more than jewelry. It's about your story. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help. Grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a Papa Shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and exciting way to support Razorback athletics, whether you're inside Razorback Stadium or calling the Hogs anywhere in the great state of Arkansas. Our inaugural raffle jackpots grew to nearly $500,000 last spring. Now you can be our next big winner, even if you're not in the stadium. Get your raffle ticket purchased to have a chance to win big right now at RazorbackRaffle.com.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo, and for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
What we talk about is how do we make Chuck's life exciting.
My life is exciting. I just don't tell you guys everything.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, happy birthday, 50th, to Todd McWilliams.
Who?
My friend Todd McWilliams.
Oh.
It's his birthday.
Good for him.
I was going to do it in the last segment. I was going to ask the governor.
I thought this was like at the top of Bart's list. I'm like, who'd Bart put on here today?
Adam Sandler's also 59. I know you know who that is.
Todd, happy birthday.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to have you sing now, Chuck.
Happy birthday to you.
JT in Nashville, Arkansas. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. We got a minute or so here. Fire away.
Well, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to, talk to you guys because I have to, wind up my phone because down here in the sticks, we're not used to any technology. We don't know how to get anywhere or do anything because it's so far for us. I've never heard an individual be so disconnected from what the issue is. Yesterday I listened to the third hour of the show as I was driving home on Spotify, and I finished it up this morning. And, Chuck, you said something. Man, I got to try and calm down because this is so stupid. It's like we are – She said, well, everybody's in the same agreement where we want to do the best for Arkansas. No, we don't. No, we want to win football games. We want to grow the brand of Arkansas Razorback football. And that happens at Arkansas Razorback Football Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I live 4 hours from Fayetteville and an hour and 50 minutes from War Memorial. I would rather drive blindfolded uphill up the pig trail in a rain-wrapped tornado to go to Fayetteville than I would rather go to War Memorial. It is I cannot stand it. But I go because my son plays in the band, and I have a freshman that goes. I go because that's to support the Razorbacks, but I don't want to go to the stadium. It is worn out.
Yeah.
I cannot stand somebody so disconnected in that position of power, acting like, and then you want to pull a game from the last week of the year? Come on.
Well, the
Let's
SEC
get real,
is not
folks.
going to let
Yeah.
you do that.
No,
I mean, that's a scheduling impossibility.
No.
Can we stop acting like
not.
Fayetteville's in Canada? I mean, really. People, it's just going to be the hardest trip. We may not survive driving all the way to Fayetteville.
It's where the University of Arkansas is located. I mean, just move the whole university.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like Walk-Ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this. There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
We were 0-5. They put us all in the coffin. They just didn't put the nails in.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Which is worse, being shooed or shushed?
Probably shushed.
You want to start a fight at home?
Chuck, you sound like you have some
Well,
experience.
I'm just saying. Now, being shooed for a guy, being shooed is probably worse than being shushed.
Probably so.
For a female, it's been my experience. I can only speak from experience. That shushing is worse than shooing. Shushing is, that's going to get you in trouble.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to
the show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
We got a critique on the text line. Why did you not ask her about repairing the stadium? That's one of the most important questions. That's Roger from Bentonville. Well, Roger, that's been brought up repeatedly over and over and over again, and clearly that's not the issue that's going to determine whether this happens or not, because they have put some money into it. It just needs to be more. By the way, our goal was not to bring her on and debate the topic. It was to give you her perspective, and then we can all discuss it from there, which is what we tried to do, and I think we did. But there were some things there that, I wanted to ask at the end, and probably should have. Is it possible to do what's best for the state of Arkansas and it not be best for the Razorbacks? Because I think when the Razorbacks are good, the state seems to do pretty well. But there's this idea that it's no big deal that they should just play. It's a big deal to play games in Little Rock, and it's no big deal for the Razorbacks to go there. And I just, having been around college football teams for the last 27 years, I don't think that's true. I don't know anybody who wants to go 3 hours away for a home game. And when they do, like the Southwest Classic, for example, that's a whole other situation. You're going to a destination place, an NFL stadium, that's one of the best looking and nicest facilities in the country, in the world. And it is a treat to go play there. And you might go to play at a school because they go get to play there. That is really not happening at War Memorial Stadium. But anyhow, there's a lot of things to debate. We heard from her. If you missed the interview, you can catch it on YouTube or Spotify. It was at the 7:35 mark-ish of the show.
I thought and do think that she's sincere in what she's saying. I think she's sincere about wanting that event to be repeated in that city, in that stadium. I think she's sincere about that. But I also think there's a failure to grasp a lot of the real issues that could actually make this possible. For example, when you bring up, well, there's not great crowds in Fayetteville at the end of the year. You're not going to play that game at the end of the season. The 9-game conference schedule is just not going to allow that. Or you're going to find yourself, if you did, in a situation like South Carolina does, where you play your last conference game, a week or two before everybody else does. Some of the solutions that people have for this are just not workable. But I do believe she's sincere.
RJ from Van Buren, I don't care about a politician's perspective.
Yeah. And look, there are people that, but here's the thing.
Here's the thing. She kind of runs the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's not about a politician's perspective. It's about the boss's perspective.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it boils down to.
She appoints the board of trustees. She appoints the chancellor. All of the people that say anything about this answer to her.
Stadium commission.
They answer to her. So it is the important perspective to hear. By the way, we wanted to get Gentle Ben in. We thought about squeezing him in just before the governor. But I'm sorry, Ben, you had to wait. You're here now. Is he still there? That's a first. Ben not still being on hold. They must have called for breakfast.
Yeah, I would assume
that's what happened. I should have looked at the clock. 8:06. He's got to get in under the wire.
It's almost brunch.
Right, shut it down at 8:30. You're not going to be able to get in there if you don't get in there now. 877-377-6963. What else did we have from the text line that we wanted to go? Boy, there's just a string
It really
of
was,
texts. It's just
yes.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Wow, there's some
like
name calling.
Yeah,
there's some name calling. Be respectful. Be respectful.
Well, look, here's the thing. For our purposes on the air, it does nobody any good to get on there and, debate and argue with the governor. I mean.
Well, that's not what it is.
Yeah,
she came on to answer questions.
Yeah, and she came on and answered questions, and people are reacting.
And that's fine. But I do really think this is an important distinction. What's best for the state, okay? Having an event in Central Arkansas that people are excited to go to and have a good time, like we mentioned all those concerts, right? What was it called that Chuck went to?
The Wild Hog Boogie. I didn't go, but I've heard stories.
Okay. So there are events, right, that you can create in the state that people can come to, and it's a great time for everyone. You're like, wow, that's a great amenity. That's a great Crystal Bridges, the AMP, the concert at War Memorial Stadium. Well, what has to happen for those things to become a reality?
The bands have to agree
they
to play
have
there.
to agree to play there.
And they don't want to play there either.
And we're going to pay you this, and you come play. But, right? So now we're going to say we're basically going to make the team that we want to win in this state, we're going to make them play? We're going to make that band play? That football team play?
It's going to be an executive order that the Rolling Stones have to come and recreate the magic at War Memorial Stadium.
And she said she's not the negotiator. She's
Molly
the encourager.
Little Rock.
But that's the difference here. If you're basically, mandated, and she hasn't, I guess, mandated,
No.
and she's strongly encouraging, but I mean, she carries a lot of influence there, and that's my distinction with the Razorbacks and what's great for the state. What's great for the state, if it's not great for the Razorbacks, most of Arkansas are Razorback fans, and it's always confusing to me when fans don't want what's best for their program. They want what's best for them, and then they also want them to win. So it's like what we all try to do. We all want what we want on our terms, and then we want to have some more too.
I am more convinced than ever after hearing the governor speak a few moments ago that this is the last gasp, and that's all that it is. This issue is going to die. Arkansas is not going to play there anymore. I'm more convinced than ever after the last 24, 48 hours that that's going to be the case. I think this is a dog and pony show, and I think that's all that it is. I think it's words. And there's going to be Arkansas State's going to play Iowa State on Saturday in Jonesboro. The Razorbacks are going to play Ole Miss in Oxford on Saturday. And Monday, that's what their fan bases are going to be talking about. They're not going to be talking about that game in Little Rock and whether or not Arkansas should play at War Memorial Stadium. This issue is going to die. This is the last gasp. And it'll be interesting to talk about for a few days.
Kevin's and Rogers. Kevin, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, guys, it's been a while. How's everybody doing? You guys doing good?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Good. Very good. Yeah, and I'm not going to get too much into that. I mean, I have my opinions, but as obviously you've gotten some texts that probably aren't, you don't want to repeat. The biggest issue that I have, I mean, I'm been in sales and marketing 30-plus years, I always try to teach people, and I get that she hires all these people, but still the bottom line on scheduling, I don't think that's a lane she needs to be in. I mean, I understand her perspective. I want to do the bottom line is you got to do the best for what's best for the University of Arkansas. Not everybody complains that we don't play enough, big-time non-conference basketball games. But Calipari's big, and, he's building a national brand, which is better for the University of Arkansas. The biggest problem that I had, it wasn't what she said today. I was reading something. I'm not going to say where she was on the radio yesterday.
Buzz.
And she said that I wasn't going to mention that.
We don't care.
I don't listen.
They're all friends. We're all good.
Yeah, I don't listen to them. But anyway, she said something that was quite intriguing. And being from Northwest Arkansas and being part of the community, and you guys are too, I mean, I didn't, the comment that without Little Rock, the state of Arkansas suffers. I'm telling you right now, Northwest Arkansas is not going to suffer because Little Rock isn't getting what they want. I can just promise you that, because that's just the way it is. I mean, I just didn't like that comment. I mean, you know, trying to say, hey, if Little Rock doesn't get this, then the whole state's going to suffer. I just didn't agree with that comment. But I'll hang up. Go Hogs, Woo Pig. You know, we're going to beat Ole Miss 28-17. That will be it.
Yeah. I'm on the side of the Razorbacks this week. I like them.
I'm on the 40-something to 30-something side, though.
Yeah.
I know 28-17 would be. I would be surprised if it's that low scoring.
Yeah, there's going to be some points in that game. What's the total? 63? Is that what it is?
62.
62. Did it start at 63 or was it always 62?
No, it's been 62 as far as I've seen. So
okay. All right. Let's go to Alex in Clarksville. Alex, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Yes, my main question and about the stadium debate is I'm totally against going to Little Rock, and there may be an issue contractually and all that stuff, but why could that not be a road game for Arkansas instead of going to Tulsa or to Memphis, and in essence be another home game as well? I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair question. Really what happens on the anytime Arkansas is going to go on a road non-conference game, it's because they're getting one back in Fayetteville. I mean, the way it's scheduling, it's hard to do just one-off scheduling with teams. And so you either do a home and home, or in that case, I think they're going to Tulsa once to get Tulsa to come here twice.
It's a 3-for-1.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how that.
That's still too many, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the one's too many.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I'm not in love with that. I'm not in love with a home and home for Memphis. But here's what happens, though. Then you got to pay more to get a team to come to your stadium.
That's right.
And so when you're trying to help budget, you do some things like that. And all of this is a little fluid, too, with the 9-game SEC schedule upcoming now. It's going to change how scheduling's done.
Well, you know, the 9-game schedule is it's going to be new and exciting for a while, and then there will be a period where, you know, it's kind of like everything else. It's like, well, we keep playing these teams year after year after year. And, you know, for some reason – in our minds as fans, we determine the strength of the schedule a lot of times by the non-conference games. You know, when it comes to conference games, it's like, well, everybody plays them. We do determine the worth of the schedule by non-conference games. And when you play 9 league games, I mean, do the math. Your control over things is very, very minimal. You're going to play an FCS team. That's going to happen in all probability. Most schools in our league are going to do that. You're going to have 1. You're going to have 9 conference games. If you're going to do a home and home, that's going to take up another one. It's not as easy to schedule these things as people make it out to be.
Isaac's in Fort Smith. Isaac, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Isaac.
Yeah, I was thinking that y'all were playing at War Memorial this weekend. Everyone seemed real excited about it.
yeah, going back down there for a second straight week, yeah.
How'd y'all convince Ole Miss to come up there this weekend?
Yeah. Is this keep going?
Keep going?
Yeah.
Well, I've been listening to the show for 2 straight days. I was trying to hear about the game this weekend, not the one about Arkansas State and War Memorial.
Well, we've talked about the game this week. I don't know if you've listened the whole time, but what do you want to know?
I mean, all you got to do is ask.
That's why we're
You're
here.
right here.
Now's your chance.
What's the big deal about War Memorial Stadium?
Isaac, you know what the big deal is. We've been debating this for 25 years. You know it's a legitimate argument. It may not be what you want to talk about, but a lot of people in Arkansas are talking about it.
You're right here.
Right
if
now.
you want to talk about the
You're
Ole Miss
here
game,
now.
ask the question.
Ask the question. We're ready.
Go Vols!
Yeah, that's
there
what I
we
figured.
go. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I thought.
Wow. So we got all the way down to what kind of moron he actually was without even having to ask. Yeah. Chuck and Bo Show, good morning.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eye. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust. My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at McDonaldEye.com.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Has your roof been taking a beating after the summer we had with the heat, the sun, and those sudden storms? Teamwork Roofing and Construction knows your roof is more than just shingles. It protects your home, your business, and everything inside. And their expert team delivers top-quality roofing and construction services all over Arkansas and beyond. And they only use the best materials while treating every project like it's their very own. Visit their website, teamworkbuilt.com, or you can find them on Facebook. Teamwork Roofing, built on quality, powered by teamwork. Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here.
Just
let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You think you're on anybody's pickup list at school?
No.
Chuck Barrett able to pick up my kid.
No, I doubt that.
I'm gonna write you in.
All right, good.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm just thinking about the horrified look Lennox would have if I were to pull up and pick her up at school. Hey, your dad sent me to pick you up. Not a chance. Stranger danger.
The better one would be if you went to the house and she walked out of the garage and you were sitting in the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be like, hey, we've never met, but I'm Uncle Chuck.
That's right.
Time to go to school,
I'm
sweetheart.
going to be your driver, honey.
She would go back in and
right.
close the garage door.
That's right.
Chuck had to go, well, I saw the garage door come up, and I saw the garage door go down.
It's like, I don't really want to do this.
I'm
just going
back,
to scare her.
and as best I can tell, she's not at school.
Yeah, she's not going to school today.
As it turns out.
Bart is in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room.
Anxious to elevate the conversation.
Really wanting to.
Well, I mean, look, I think it's a conversation that needs to be elevated.
Well, then elevate it.
I tried to
Rise up.
elevate the 11 a.m. kickoff conversation with the governor for you.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
at least there's something you can agree on.
There are limits to her power, though.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
well,
as we learn.
I appreciate her being on the side of reason when it comes to that.
Well, yeah.
Look, this whole thing, it's
whole thing.
a simple.
It's very simple.
It
can be easily solved.
I
can do it in a day.
understand.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I understand that there's a desire for fans around the state, people around the state of Arkansas, to feel like they have access to the Razorbacks. Like I understand that. I don't particularly feel like people don't have access to the Razorbacks. You can watch every game on television really easily. Fayetteville is not, a million miles away. I know it's not easy for everybody to get to a football game, and going to a football game is expensive and only getting more expensive by the year. I understand all of that. But there's just a simple inventory problem when it comes to football and playing games away from Razorback Stadium. It's an inventory problem at this point, especially with a 9-game SEC schedule and the fact that you're going to play 5 SEC road games a year. So here's what I think should be focused on instead. Arkansas basketball is going to continue to play a game in Little Rock every year. That game can be against Arkansas State. It could be against Arkansas Pine Bluff. It could be against an in-state school. And you can.
It would sound like Cal. I don't know if Cal would.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's against Memphis. Maybe I don't know.
Anyhow, what's your point?
Elevate that experience. Turn that into a big thing. That game is always on a Saturday.
Have all the football players come down and sign autographs.
I mean, turn it into an event.
Have a football scrimmage on the floor at halftime.
Why not?
That's all we need to do. 7 on 7.
But seriously, like
pass, kick, and punt in the parking lot.
That's a big deal. You see how Razorback fans flock to that game. You see how they flock to the baseball games at Dickey-Stevens Park. Like, turn those things into events. Turn it into a weekend. Turn it into a big deal. Obviously, baseball is a midweek deal. You can't do it with that. But with basketball, you can make that a whole weekend, a whole experience around the Razorback basketball game in North Little Rock, and make it a touch point for Razorback fans from across the state.
Look, all this should be up to the University of Arkansas. My opinion, like if Arkansas wants to do that, it's their job to keep their fans happy the way they feel like they need to make it happen. But look, this is a business now. And it's got to be treated as such if you want to win, okay? And so the University of Arkansas Athletic Department, again, this is where we're running into. We're still trying to play the old school way with new school rules, okay? This is not what it used to be. Like, their job is to do the best they can for everybody in the organization to be able to win and have the best experience and treated the right way and be a good organization and all those things. And when the state starts telling the school, like, hey, you should do this because it makes other people happy, guess what that administrator is going to do? Get fired. Why? Because they're not doing the best they can to win, and eventually they're not going to win because of that. They've got enough challenges already. That's why I keep making the distinction. What's, quote, supposedly best for the state has to be what's best for the Razorbacks. Because there's never going to be a time where Arkansas is winning at a high level that the state is walking around all disjointed and sad. They're all going to be thrilled.
Playing games in Little Rock is not a uniting issue. It's a dividing issue. Winning games, that brings everybody together. You know, and your point's well made. If Arkansas goes, say, 9-3 this year in football, man, the mood of the entire state is going to be sky high. It is.
That's so true.
If they go 3-9 but play ASU in Little Rock, everybody's going to be mad.
They're still going to be pissed.
And be arguing about whether or not we ought to be playing down there in the first place. It is not the uniting issue that a lot of our politicians in Arkansas believe it is. It's not. It's a dividing issue. It's a wedge issue, to use a political term. And it's never going to be anything but that. But I know a lot of people feel differently. Most of them are in the central part of the state.
Bill is in Yell County. Bill, good morning. Chuck and Bo Show, 827. What's happened?
Oh, no. Good morning. I appreciate you taking my call. I have a kind of maybe a little bit different perspective on this because I was raised in Pulaski County, Central Arkansas, raised my kids in Bryant, Saline County, lived there my whole life, and then moved to Northwest Arkansas in 2019 and lived in Bentonville for 4 or 5 years. And I'm also a season ticket holder, and I tailgate every home game.
Plenty of bona fides. Plenty of bona fides.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think?
I see both sides of this thing, and I don't want to straddle the fence, but it just seems like we're throwing away a lot of history, and I hate that, but I understand the economics of it. But the mission of the University of Arkansas is to educate and benefit the state of Arkansas. And the governor's job is to be the governor of the state of Arkansas, not the governor of the Razorbacks.
How does it benefit the state, though? I'm going to stop you for just a second. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. How does it really benefit the lives of Arkansans for Arkansas and Arkansas State to play one another in Little Rock?
Well, I just think it ties the university and the team to the rest of the state in a stronger fashion than it has become very much, in a lot of ways, a Northwest Arkansas institution, and I understand that.
There are no fewer Razorback fans in Lake Village today. There are no fewer Razorback fans in Lake Village today than there were 10 or 20 years ago, unless they've moved in from somewhere else. The idea that if they don't play in Little Rock, that fans are going to turn away, that they're going to find another team to root for.
No. I don't think that's the argument at all.
Okay.
I think the argument is simply that what can we do to benefit Central Arkansas? And when you say that it's not the Razorbacks' job, okay, fine, but it is the university's job to benefit the entire state. So I see both sides of the argument is all I'm saying here. And
nostalgia is very powerful. Nostalgia is very
powerful. But I think that it's on Little Rock to clear up their problems, to fix the stadium, to the infrastructure you were talking about yesterday has to be brought up to speed. And I don't want to take a page out of Texas's book, but what if the state fair was on the old golf course now, and we combined the game into a huge
Here's the question,
deal?
Bill. Here's the question: why are we trying so hard to make Arkansas be somewhere other than it is? Why do we have to take the University of Arkansas and try to make it be somewhere else in the state? What? Like, I guess he's got a connection issue, but why do we keep doing this? Like every other university. Oh, we're not every other university, which is an even bigger reason why we need to come together and support where it is and where it's happening. But why do we keep – look, it was the way that it was for so long because it had to be that way, and it no longer had to be that way, and it became evident that you can have it the way that the rest of the world is working, which is the way that it should work. But everyone's just angry – not everyone. Certain people are angry that the university happens to be located in the northwest corner of the state. Like, move the whole thing then. But quit trying to take pieces of it and move it around and make everybody. That's not how it works. The Dallas Cowboys don't go play around the state of Texas so they can reach the whole state. Like, what are we talking about? Sorry, Chuck and Bo Show.
No, you're right.
It's 8:30.
Here.
Jeez, good morning.
Hey guys. You're having a great show today.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Alyssa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Particularly in the South, I'm not sure there's a title that carries more weight than coach. Maybe preacher.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
calls in.
Chuck and I started the show. He said we want to deal with smart people, smarter than us. It's going to take a while for them to show up because they've been dumbed down, but they'll show up.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, let's go to the capital city. Talk to Zach. Zach, you with us?
Yeah, I am.
Good morning.
Morning. So, my opinion about the thing is if you take away the games from Little Rock, that's exactly what you're doing, is taking away the Razorbacks from most of the state. I think that keeping it just in Fayetteville leaves it inaccessible to most of the state, which eventually would turn a lot of fans away 5-10 years from now. There's not going to be the connection that we have now in Little Rock with the Razorbacks if they don't ever play here. I mean, I understand Lake Village is a long way away, Jonesboro is a long way away, but for most of the state, it makes it inaccessible, and it will just turn it away from a lot of people.
Why do you think that? What evidence do you have of that? They've taken games away, and, like, you've down to one game a year, and then they don't even fill up the stadium for the games that are there.
Well, if that was true, Zach, then you're saying everybody that comes to the games in Fayetteville lives in Northwest Arkansas, and that's just not true. I mean, lots of people from other parts of the state travel to Fayetteville to see the games.
I think you're right. Not everybody at the Fayetteville games is from Northwest Arkansas, but if it's only there, it's less accessible than it would be in Little Rock.
Why should a school, any school?
Well, lots of things. I mean, anything that's not in your town is less accessible than it is to someone in your town. I mean, anything falls into that category.
Why should any school play home games away from campus unless it's a neutral site, big event like, in Atlanta or in Cowboy Stadium or,
if this
some
is such
sort of
a good
huge
idea,
thing.
how come everybody's not doing it?
Why is nobody else doing it?
I think to compare the Razorbacks to the Cowboys is a little off.
Compare it to anybody.
Compare it to anyone.
We're the only major Jesus Christ. The Razorbacks are the only major team in Arkansas, and put it at the very furthest northwest corner of the state isolates the rest of the state from it. It's not like we have another team like the Houston Texans to go see. The Razorbacks are all we have.
That's where the university. That's where the university. That's where the university is. I mean, we are the whiniest state. Why do we whine about everything? We're always gonna suck. We're never any good. And can you move the damn games
that's what
to
I was
me?
gonna say, Chuck, is like
what are we talking about?
Like I know so many Tennessee fans who live in Memphis who go to almost every game in Knoxville. That's like a 7-hour drive.
Zach, nobody's moving the games to go to all the people. It just doesn't work like that. And if you want to call it unfortunate that it's in the northwest part of the state, that's where the university was built. That's just the reality of it. It just is. It's like.
Go ahead.
I got one more question before I hang up. Yeah, thank you, Chuck. I got one more question before I hang up. How would it be if all the games were in Little Rock and y'all only got one game in Fayetteville? How would you feel?
If that's where the university was, that's what you would expect.
If we were talking UALR football, I would not expect them to play games in Fayetteville. No.
Like what?
Jiminy Christmas. I mean, I'm not asking UCA to come up to like Rogers and play games so I can go. If I want to go to a UCA game, I got to understand where I go. We are so bass-ackwards in our thinking sometimes. Like, do we want to compete? Do we want to be at the highest level? Do we want to be where other people are that are ahead? If we do, we've got to think like that. If we're not going to think like that, we're never going to get there.
Tennessee's going to have 100,000 people in their stadium Saturday. You ever tried to get to Knoxville?
It's such a good example.
You ever tried to get to State College, PA?
It's 6 hours from Memphis to Knoxville. And I know people who go to every single home game in Knoxville, every single UT game. It's 3 hours, 3+ hours from Nashville.
Try going to a Penn State game, Bart. From anywhere else in Pennsylvania.
Try going from Western
you can't
Nebraska.
Even fly in there.
Go from Western Nebraska to Lincoln.
I'm just trying to keep it local. I mean, look, like, just for the sake of the regional conversation, there are people in Tulsa who go to every OU game, every Oklahoma State game. There are people in Shreveport who go to Baton Rouge every LSU home game. Like, this is not a new phenomenon. The only reason it's even a conversation is because we've been doing it for so long.
Zach is in Wynne, Arkansas. Zach, good morning.
Morning, Chuck. Morning, Bo.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, look, I'm I'm in Wynne, East Arkansas, born and raised there. I'm actually an A-State grad, but I've been a Hog fan my whole life. And when the wife and I decide we want to go to a Razorback game, we don't highlight the Little Rock game on the schedule. We want to go to Northwest Arkansas. We want the SEC game day experience in Fayetteville. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think if Arkansas State's another Power 4 team, I think the conversation's maybe a little different. But there's levels to this, and it was proven on Saturday. There's nothing to gain for the Hogs to play this game every year, better yet, in Little Rock. So the whole logistical thing about the Hogs being located in Northwest Arkansas, I'm not buying that. Whenever we have the means and logistically can work it out, we're going to Fayetteville to experience Northwest Arkansas and watch the Hogs play on Saturdays. That's all I got, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. I just, the thing for me is why we got to keep arguing about something and not realize that it's not about like where anyone lives. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like there's so many people that are clamoring to go to these games that they're just taking it away from them. So many people went to that game on Saturday from Northwest Arkansas because they thought it was going to be the last game ever played there, and it was nostalgic and it was a great event, and good for them for showing up. But we're acting like that we're ripping something away. Like that happened years ago, and it needed to happen, and it was unfortunate. Just like, listen, it's the same thing with the reseeding. I know it sucks. I know it's not convenient for you. And unfortunately, be pissed off at college athletics. But if you want your team to compete, you got to quit asking it to do something that nobody else is doing. Like, if that's what you want, don't stand over here and say they got to be better and then ask, on the other hand, for them to keep jumping over the Grand Canyon to make it happen for you.
Got to play in Little Rock. Got to play Arkansas State. Got to win at least 6 or 7 of those conference ball games. We don't ask a lot. I mean, just, you know, win at a 7, 8, 9-game clip and play in Little Rock because it's convenient. I mean, we ask a lot of our program, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to.
It's frustrating to me that the leaders in our state aren't figuring out a way to bring people together in the way that college athletics is together now. Like that's where you said it earlier, this is a divisive issue. If we're going to keep arguing about the same 25-year argument we've had. And it's always, well, you can make it work. It's not about it being better. It's never about it why it's better. It's all, well, here's how we can make it work. We can have an arts and crafts festival, a rock and roll band. We can have a music fest. We can have a whole week of wine tasting leading up, and then maybe people will come. Yeah, they still have to drive the buses 3 hours away and drive them 3 hours back. And that's called a home game.
And we're not talking about the fans. We're talking about the participants, the players. The players.
I can't even believe we're still talking about this, honestly.
We've been doing it for 27 years.
At 2-0 Ole Miss this weekend, the most pivotal, perhaps the most pivotal game on the schedule, really. You win this game, you're 3-0. You got a chance to be 4-0 with Notre Dame coming to town. And you know what? Damn it, we need to play in Little Rock. Like, what in the world?
I'm amazed at the number of people who think they're smart.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a Pop-A-Shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Football season's here, and Flight by Yingling is the light beer built for game days. Tastes like a Yingling, but it's a light beer, and only 95 calories. Flight raises the bar for what a light beer should be, and now it comes in a 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle and skinny cans. Perfect for tailgates, watch parties, or just kicking back after the game. Pick it up at your favorite store or ask your bartender. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds, make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hogtroff Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up, and don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hogtroff, you get the best of both worlds. Professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection, or visit hoggutters.com.
So I spent yesterday. You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We have a good enough team. If we play well, we can play with anybody on our schedule. I may be the only guy that believes that, but I believe it with all. Well, no, I'm not. I got 115 that believe that as well.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Shorty's in El Dorado. It's 8:51 on a Tuesday.
Shorty.
Good morning, fellas. Thanks for taking my call. My biggest deal is with the whole stadium situation is the kids go to Fayetteville. The college is in Fayetteville. play the home games in Fayetteville.
Sounds pretty simple when you put it like that, doesn't it?
It would be easier for the athletes. They don't have to drive that extra 3 hours. And I just think it would be easier on them because I think people are thinking more about themselves, which I love Arkansas. It's a great state. Lived here all my life. But think about the athletes and think about the things they have to go through. Because it's not just sports. They have academics. They have other things they have to take care of. And my last comment, and I'll get off here and listen, I'm just kind of worried about the tackling on the defense right now more than where we're playing the game.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking.
I'm hanging with Shorty.
Yeah.
He's my guy.
Right to the points.
Thank you, Shorty.
Thanks, Shorty.
We needed that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Steven in Nashville, go ahead.
Thank you for taking my call. It's kind of like people complaining about having to drive up to Fayetteville because the college is in Fayetteville. It'd be kind of like, well, I'm mad because I had to drive to the ocean just to get to the beach. We should move the beach up to the ocean to me because the ocean is.
I mean, it really in some ways is. The only issue, and Bart was pointing this out during the break, and we've tried to touch on it, is that once you have something and it gets taken away, it feels different. But we've all got to understand why that is. Like, we can't keep, in my opinion, creating hurdles that we have to get over to be where we want to go when we've already got, a lack of a recruiting base in our state. We've got, other issues. We're a smaller state. We don't have a huge recruiting base. And now we're making it harder by saying we got to, take a home game and put it somewhere else. And then we got to raise money to make up the difference in that. Well, if we're going to raise money, let's raise money to add to what we have, not to create a deficit that then we got to raise money for. We could go on and on. I hope we can get into the game, maybe starting tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
Bart, what do you have before we get out of here? What are you sitting on over there? We got a
What's
full deck of calls,
What's
but
percolating
we're out
in
of
the
time.
situation?
Yeah, look.
Thanks to everyone that phoned in. If you want to try again tomorrow, we'll get to you. We're just out of time.
It's not a complex issue, but it's a complex issue. It's simple, but it's not simple. What makes sense for the football program doesn't necessarily make sense to everybody.
Yeah.
And I empathize with those who have been going to War Memorial Stadium their entire lives for games. Like, it means something to people, and I think it's important to not lose sight of that, while also understanding what's best for the Razorbacks at this point in time.
Yeah, I get that, and I think we're drilling down to the bottom line today is where we're going. Look, I'd like for Oaklawn to be closer.
You and me both.
Can we have an interstate to Hot Springs?
Yeah,
Can we do that?
We're doing
We should ask. the
Apparently,
governor
it's
about
happening
that.
at some point.
Hey, the Oaklawn Sports app, if you want to play games, if you want to get on that Arkansas money line before it moves down anymore, because it's already been moving, download the Oaklawn Sports app. New customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Bet with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and exciting way to support Razorback athletics, whether you're inside Razorback Stadium or calling the Hogs anywhere in the great state of Arkansas.